are going to add some fan questions now because we're going to go live for a while. On the people watching this live, it's not going to be as good quality as in the full shoot, but we're doing this so we can add some of your questions in. So PCW Ultra, as we've been talking about, it's possibly the most popular company in California. Definitely one of the top two, for sure. You got a big show this Friday night. Do you want to start off by telling us about this Friday night's event?
Sure. This Friday night, we will be at the ILWU Memorial Hall. That's at 231 West C Street in Wilmington, California. It's just outside of Los Angeles, maybe 20 minutes from LAX. And the main event, it's called the show is called Believe, and the main event is Pentagon Jr. versus Shane Strickland. It is Shane Strickland is our light heavyweight champion. Pentagon Jr. is our heavyweight champion, and it's a champion versus champion match. We also have Tessa Blanchard defending the Ultra Women's the Ultra Women's Championship. We also have myself and Fox 2 against the Border Patrol. We have
And Warbeast just signed with Ring of Honor, right?
no,
No, that's
no,
okay.
no, we have not. But oh yes,
Yeah,
Brody King did. Yeah,
Oh, Brody King, because he's
Brody
wrestled
King's
for
in
you
our-
too, right?
He's in Warbeast, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Brody King just signed with Ring of Honor. So we've had Brody King sign. We've had Leo Rush go to WWE. Multiple Alicia Warrington, one of our one of our backstage interviewers. She just got signed with Next. So yeah, we've got a lot. We're using super good top tier talent. So the show's really shaping up nicely. We have Road Warrior Animal. We like to have a legend. We like to have new age guys. We have great women's wrestling, violent wrestling. So we have a little hardcore, little lucha, great female wrestling.
Sami Callahan's coming too on Friday.
Sami
right?
Callahan against Brody King. That's going to be a fantastic match. The internet might explode. Super Indie Darling match. There's a lot of good talent on this show. We get a lot of talent from Mexico, Japan, Europe, and of course the United States. And so this show this Friday is going to be great. There's a huge pre-sale that we've had. We typically sell out. So if you are going to get any tickets, especially any of the platinum tickets, I would get them now because I believe there's 14 left last I checked. And then general admission, we'll just pack them in and then do standing room only. But I think there's like under 50 left. And we have a large building, so we're expecting, maybe anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 people. So it should be a really good show.
And of course, the Hannibal TV is going to be there to get some interviews, so we're looking forward to that. But I highly suggest if you guys are in the area to come out to it. And I understand you're going to be having an even bigger event next month for your big anniversary show.
That's correct. We're going to have our 3-year anniversary, and all of the people that are on the show, it's not announced yet. The only match we've announced so far is WWE's Evan Bourne, who Matt Sydal. He's going to face the winner of Pentagon Jr. and Shane Strickland. So that'll be our main event for anniversary. We're also going to have a huge legend. We last year we had one of the greatest Japanese legends of all time, the Great Muta, and this year we're going to have another huge legend that is comparable to the Great Muta. He's also maybe our 5th WWE Hall of Famer. So it's going to be a really incredible show. It's going to be our big 3-year anniversary bash. We're also going to have the Swerve podcast on there. We're going to do live podcasts and our meet and greet. And our meet and greets are awesome. They're 2 hours long. The guys sign everything. You get free posters, trading cards, everything. So they're really cool. They're definitely worth the value of the platinum ticket. With the platinum ticket, you get the meet and greet for free, which, like I said, is 2 hours long. Of course, Road Warrior Animal will be at this meet and greet. And then the next meet and greet, you're just going to have to go to PCWUltra.com and wait for the announcements to be made public.
Someone on here tells you hello from Spokane.
Excellent.
And another guy's asking you if you could redo one match in your career, which would it be and why?
If if I could redo it, as you know, have another match, or because it was bad. Is it a redo or?
They weren't that clear, so let's say because it was bad for fun.
Well, if I had to do another match over again, wow, I don't know if I would want to really, because it took years off my life. But probably the most interesting match I've ever had was against Savio Vega for IWA Puerto Rico. I believe it was 2008 or 9, and it was the Globe of Death, and it was inside a steel ball. That it was absolutely hurt real bad. The only other one that I would redo was a match with Yoji Sai in Korakuen Hall for the NWA and 01. It was a double championship main event. I would redo that one for the simple fact to feel that crowd again, to feel that match the way I felt after the victory. It was an amazing feeling with the Japanese press and all that. It was definitely a highlight of my career.
Who was your favorite wrestler to work with?
Oh wow, there's a lot of them. There's guys that maybe a lot of people don't know, like Steve Madison, who was just super easy. Tommy Taylor from the UK, but I would say as far as nemesis, Savio Vega. As far as just sheer brutality and just great psychology and people biting on everything. So Savio Vega is probably my favorite opponent of all time.
Have you talked to her a bitch lately?
Ha! I have not, but reckon I ever will. He was the owner or the president of the NWA when I kind of burned it all down. No, I don't think Bob would want to hear from me, nor would I want to call Bob.
I don't know if you want to tell this information to the public, but who makes your boots? Someone's asking.
Well, multiple people. So I go to Stagecoach. Actually, I haven't gone for a long time because I've got a bunch of pairs of boots. But Stagecoach, they're stiff. They don't do anything without charging you an arm and a leg. But their boots are without a doubt the best boots in the business, wrestlingboots.com. They're that old that they have wrestlingboots.com for a URL. And then there was a gentleman, and I'm not sure if he's still even around anymore, by the name of Jose Malagan. And he used to make my boots for me. And then, of course, he's gone. He doesn't make boots anymore. I don't know where he's at or if he's even around anymore. Bill Ash, who used to be B.A. Bar Boots or something like that, and they were out of Paris, Arkansas. But I only went to the top, the best of the best, because I wanted my equipment to be good and I didn't want it to fall apart. So if I had to recommend anyone that's still in business, it would be Stagecoach Wrestling Boots. They're the best. They make all the WWE guys. They're the best.
And you've talked about this in the full shoot, but not specific person, but is there any specific person that was your biggest inspiration in the industry?
Bruiser Brody. I did the Sheik character, and a lot of people would like to think that I was a huge fan of the Sheik, and I did the character more out of necessity, but Bruiser Brody all day, every day. Just the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Nobody was more believable. Nobody was more solid. Nobody was scarier. I think he was the greatest of all time.
Someone is asking you, seeing how MMA and wrestling present their products similar, what do you think MMA could do to rejuvenate itself?
I didn't know MMA needed to rejuvenate itself, but if I had to give MMA any advice, it would be to continue with pro wrestling style promos. I think being able to sell a pay-per-view event and sell pay-per-views like a pro wrestler, and you'll get some pay-per-view buys. But I don't think that they're suffering, are they?
Well, I know the UFC is not doing as good business as they used to, but I don't think they're suffering at all. And I actually think the promos in MMA are better overall than the promos in wrestling these days.
Currently, I agree with you, because the promos in wrestling today are all scripted and they all sound like it. And they all sound like they're coming from the same voice. So I agree with you. I don't really watch anything on television currently, and if I do watch wrestling, it's For instance, this morning I watched, because Dynamite Kid passed away today. I watched the Dynamite Kid versus Stan Hansen, which is one of my absolute favorite matches of all time.
You talked about him a little bit in this shoot, but someone's asking memories of Ed Schumann.
Oh boy, Ed Schumann was one of my absolute favorite people of all time, and he will be one of my favorite people of this lifetime for sure. Ed was kind, he was generous, he was funny, and he was fat and sassy, as he used to say. And Ed just treated me like his son, and a funny memory that I have of Ed Schumann was Ed asked me one time about my shoe size, and he asked me about all these measurements because he said that he wanted to protect my ankles, and they had this brand new sleeve my ankle, and he needed my measurements. So I gave him all the specific measurements he asked me for, and about a month later, a pair of wrestling boots showed up on my front doorstep. About a month later, another pair showed up. About a month later, another pair showed up, followed by gear, followed by robes. And Ed just kept purchasing and purchasing things for me to make my presentation and my entrance grand, like he knew he wanted for me, and like he knew that I needed. And then Ed passed away, and when Ed passed away, he had a credit card that was only in his name, that his wife couldn't get penalized by, and on that credit card was all the bills unpaid for all of my boots. So that's one of my fondest memory of Ed, that he was a worker to the end, and he used his carniness for kindness, and he helped me out, and he protected his wife, and that kind of is in a nutshell.
Current relationship with David Marquez.
I have no heat towards David Marquez. I think David Marquez has heat towards me. That's his own deal. I don't have a relationship with Dave Marquez. He runs a product in the same state. We basically serve up completely different things. If I want to be a prick, I would say Dave Marquez serves up hot dogs and I serve up filet mignon. But hey, I'm not a prick. I would never say that. But yeah, there's no relationship. I don't have a problem with him, nor would I have a problem sitting down and breaking bread with him. But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Do you think the NWA will get a national TV deal next year?
I don't know if that's where they're going. If that's where they're going, with Billy Corgan at the helm, I don't see how they couldn't. Because of his contacts and his celebrity, I don't think that would be hard. I was involved on something that Billy got TV for. It wasn't easy, but he still got it. So, if they want that, I think they'd be successful, and I think they could accomplish that for sure. Now, whether they do it or not, I don't know.
Best wrestler in the world right now besides Hannibal?
Well, now I gotta think. The best wrestler in the world today. Depends. It's such a there's Pentagon is somebody that's super dynamic. He's got a great gimmick. He's got a big following. Shane Strickland's another one. If you want to go Okada, Okada's another one. I don't know. That's a really difficult question. If I had to pick my favorite wrestler of today, God, that's really difficult. I don't really watch wrestling that much.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I would say Pentagon or Shane Strickland are two guys that I really enjoy watching, and they're going to be our main event this Friday night.
Is that a Gigi Allen shirt you're wearing?
That is a Gigi Allen shirt I'm wearing. Good eye.
Thoughts on the Dynamite Kid who just passed away?
I think it's a really sad story. I think that it's probably best that he was suffering for a really long time. I really wish his career and his life would have turned out differently, because he was a special performer. He was an innovator. absolutely incredible. His matches with Tiger Mask, I know it's very cliche to talk about his matches with Tiger Mask, but they stand up today. They're innovative today. He's just one of the greatest of all time. He wasn't a fantastic talker, so he didn't have every single tool, but his in ring ability was, man, it's hard to match it. I just wish that his story would have turned out differently. I wish he would have been there would have been a happy end to him, and I wish he would have been revered as a legend that we all knew he was. I wish he would have been loved and celebrated, because he was one of the greatest of all time.
Would you work for Howard Brody's Ring Warriors promotion?
Absolutely not. No way. Never, 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 never.
What do you think of Nick Gage?
I don't know Nick Gage. I've never been in a room with him, and I've never wrestled with him, so I don't really have anything to gauge that on.
Are the rumors true that you purchased the NWA World Belt that you used during your run?
That is not true. You don't purchase the NWA World Belt. You basically earn it by your work, and because of all the controversy and what happened, you would know the answer to that question. I've heard that a few times from certain people, mainly jealous people, but no, you can't purchase the World Championship.
How would you rank Dan Severn among the NWA World Champions over the years?
I would rank him, as far as ability, very, very high. As far as marketability and promo, very, very low. I would think that Severn, Severn is vanilla, but I don't think he's apologetic about it. He's all business. I think he's a fantastic wrestler, shooter, and he's one of the toughest NWA World Champions of all time. But as far as drawing, I don't rate him as high as a Flair or a Harley or a Dusty or anything.
Well, he has drawn well for us in Great North Wrestling. The day that I defeated him, we had a good crowd, and he's coming back for us Saturday, May 4th in Smith Falls, Ontario. More information at greatnorthwrestling.ca. And this person says he didn't mean, did you purchase your title reign? Did you purchase the physical belt?
No, I didn't purchase the physical belt.
Do you have any cool stories from Japan?
Just about working. Japan was really the only place I've ever been to in the entire world, and I've been to quite a few places. It was the only place I've ever been to where I got culture shock. It was vastly different from the United States. But as far as stories go, I guess if I really thought about it hard, but I just was there to work, and I was there to make money, and I had fun in the ring. I had fun working with Steve Corino. I had fun working with Masato Tanaka, and it was really, really nice being in the country for weeks at a time. I got to kind of explore on my own and everything. The people there and the way they maneuver in the morning to go to work, and they all kind of come like a school of fish around and the way they drink at night till all hours of the night and everything, it's pretty strange. And I guess the best memories would be going out to sponsor dinners and the camaraderie and the good times and the laughing and the drinking with the bosses and everybody, and not knowing if you're eating and drinking with the mafia or not or whatever. That was pretty fun.
Someone asked us earlier, do you have any cool road stories?
Oh, wow. Those are always kind of a put you on the spot sort of thing. I remember, one time in Puerto Rico, we were supposed to be somewhere, and my partner said that he wanted to take a nap. My partner was always not unagreeable. Whenever he'd want to do something, he would just kind of annoy me and do something different. When I was always, I'd show up early. I'd always have my I's dotted and my T's crossed. And one time we had to show up somewhere, and he was just adamant he had to take a nap. So I, moved all the clocks and acted like, we had missed it by 2 hours. And, then I've, been in planes, trains, and automobiles with so many people in so many different states and countries and places. I mean, if I really dug deep, I'd find something, but I can't think at the moment.
Was Tanaka stiff in the ring?
When I saw that roaring elbow or that, running, I believe it's called the roaring elbow, I thought it was just going to kill you. And no, I mean, maybe he's stiff with people he doesn't like, but he was good with me. The only thing I didn't enjoy about working Tanaka was he was so fast. He was just so quick, and that's just not the type of wrestler I am. I'm a methodical heel. So yeah, he was quick, but no, not stiff at all. There was some guys in Japan that, but not Tanaka.
Will you or have you ever wrestled Sabu?
I have wrestled Sabu. Yes, I have, and I would love to do it again. It was an easy night off for me. I thought it was a fun match.
Someone's asking if the Savio Vega match was your best match, and if you could talk a little more about your time in IWA.
I don't know if it was my best match. That's kind of for the fans to decide which match was best or not. But it was fun. It was memorable. IWA Puerto Rico was pretty cool. I enjoyed WWC a little bit more because when I went to IWA, it was kind of on the decline. So squirrely money situations every once in a while. But I know that Savio's a really honest guy. So when I would talk to Savio, he would take care of me. He was a man of his word, and he still is. And I really, really respect Savio Vega. But other people I dealt with to get my money certain times, there was a little bit of problems, but Savio always squared it away super easy, so I have nothing but respect for him. Savio's currently revamping the IWA. They just did, and they're going to start running shows again in Puerto Rico. I know they're going to start running Florida as well, so I'd be interested in going back for those guys because, like I said, Savio's always been very honest with me, and I've always had a good relationship with him and good experiences with him.
Now, you talked about Adam Pearce a bit earlier, but do you have heat with him? Someone's asking.
No, I don't have heat with anybody. I'm older, wiser. I've got a beautiful home life. Life's too short to have heat with anybody. I mean, if somebody's mad at me or somebody's got heat with me, that's on them. Adam's a really smart guy. He's sitting pretty well producing WWE TV right now. We all ended up doing something. We all went our respective ways, and we all are where we want to be. Adam's got a beautiful family. He's got a great career, so hats off to him. I got nothing but respect for him. What happened in the past is exactly that. It's in the past, and, it is what it is. No big deal.
Thoughts on one of my least favorite wrestlers, Joey Ryan?
Me and Joey, we don't have heat at all. I've used Joey in my company a couple times. I just don't get it. I'm a little too old school. I just don't get it. I don't understand hey, this is a joke. I look to Bruiser Brody. And I always think, what would Bruiser Brody do in that situation? And that's just my mentality. What he does, is it right? Is it wrong? Again, that's not for me to decide. That's for the fans to decide. The way I think about wrestling, I'm not a fan of that. So if I'm a chef and I'm cooking and I don't like to eat pork, I'm not going to be cooking pork, or I'm not going to be serving pork up. So it's just something that it's not my forte, but hey, man, do what you dig. If that's what you do, fine. It doesn't hurt my business. I do what I do. He does what he does, and we all live on.
And I could tell you what Bruiser Brody would do to him.
Well, that's why I say that we all know what Bruiser Brody would do. So, that's the school I come from, and it's not the school he comes from, maybe. So it is what it is, man. It's in this era, wrestling is in a completely different way. It's multiple flavors. It's like Baskin Robbins, and 10 years, 20 years ago, you couldn't do the things you do today. It would be considered selfish. It would be considered a slap in the face to guys trying to make a living. But they have a different outlook on it. They have a different outlook on the fact that, hey, nobody knows this is real, but also nobody thinks that the Terminator's real, and Arnold Schwarzenegger just doesn't kill his character in the middle of the show and do something ridiculous or out of context. So I don't know, man. We just have different outlooks on the business, and who's right, who's wrong, I don't know. I'm doing well, he's doing well, so we're just gonna do our own thing and what makes us happy, because wrestling's art now, as they say. So I like my style of art. It's more like old school wrestling.
Someone says they totally agree with you on Joey Ryan, and thoughts on Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
I think Pro Wrestling Guerrilla is it's a car crash style that is in the forefront today. I mean, I believe they're highly influential on professional wrestling. I think they have a very valuable brand. I think they're brilliant the way they branded their company. I just don't necessarily think that they're serving, what I'm serving, but I'm happy about that. I don't want anybody to serve what I serve. If I'm serving hamburgers, I want somebody to serve hot dogs. You know what I mean? If I'm serving hamburgers and you're down the street serving hamburgers too, well then now, it's just, I like having a different flavor. I feel like our championships mean more, but nobody can deny their popularity. They're selling out places. They have a charm about them that they can sell out in 5 minutes, and hey, they're doing something right. So hats off to them. I speak to them once in a while. We discuss things, and they're doing their thing and I'm doing my thing, and there's no heat. We're just all coexisting together.
Who was the worst talent you ever had to work with as a promoter?
That I booked? Wow. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, that's I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or anything. I guess I don't
maybe
know.
Unreliability wise.
Ooh, unreliability. Well, that's a different story. Oh, gosh.
For someone a name that we might know.
Oh, Matt Riddle. Oh, he's unreliable. He stiffed me for about 3 shows. I hate saying that out loud, but yeah, Matt. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. He was very unreliable for us. We had him booked a few times and advertised, and he just didn't care. He just took our booking and then just decided to not.
Here's a good question. What are the best ways to get heat, in your opinion, for today's wrestling audience that would lead to larger crowds?
Well, I think you have to get heat with your body. I think when people try to get heat vocally, like, oh, you big fat piece of shit, blah, 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 I think that's pretty cheesy. I like to, look at a man and look at a woman. And a man, I would test his masculinity. A woman, I would scare her. So I'd like to get heat with my body in those sort of ways. Just calling the town a piece of crap or something, I wouldn't go that route. But yeah, I would test, like, for instance, if I'm in a crowd and there's a guy there, I might just pull him out of his chair in front of his friends. That will just radiate through the entire building. Or I might just look at a female and then get back and then look at her again and then get back and then look at her a third time and take a step. She'll remember that and she'll take that home with her. I mean, if you develop moments that they're able to revisit, that's where you get that emotional connection. If you just do stuff to do it and you just jump onto the next thing, you're not going to get that immediate time where they can revisit. It's almost like if they see something and they turn to their buddy and go, oh my God, did you just see that? Or wow, we just experienced that, and you give them a minute. You know, so I like to do stuff that gets people deeper than just your town stinks, or you know, you're a fat person or this or that. Plus, I don't like to do that because if a woman is heavy and her son is asking her all week to take her to wrestling, works extra and ends up taking her to wrestling, and then you call her fat right in front of her kid, it's going to disrespect her. She's not going to have a good time, and she's not going to take her son to wrestling anymore. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to sell tickets. We're trying to make an experience for people. But if you go to that woman and fall at her feet and ask for her help, and she tells you to screw off and gives you the finger, she's larger than life in front of her son, and she has a good time, and then she brings him back to buy a ticket to come back again. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to sell tickets. We're not trying to alienate fans. So you have to be very, very careful with the type of heat you do. And in today's landscape, it's even more difficult because we're dealing with people that are so ultra sensitive. So you got to be really careful.
Well, you've been very generous about these fan questions, so I'm only going to ask one more, then I'm going to close this off. Thanks, everyone, for your questions. A lot of the ones I didn't ask are in the chute, so it'll be released in about a month. And the last fan question I'll ask, someone's asking if you think there'll ever be a legit number 2 to WWE like WCW was.
Wow. I don't think so. I mean, I think the lead is so big now. I mean, it would have to be somebody who has the finances, the know-how, and the contacts and connections. I mean, you're looking at somebody like ROH, and ROH Sinclair is bigger than Vince. You know, wrestling is still the stepchild. You know, they don't have all the clearances. You saw TNA, Panda Energy, had more money than Vince, but they couldn't get over They couldn't get over him. You know, he's just in a league of his own. He's above everyone, and I don't know. I think the number 2 company, to be honest, is going to be Next, and I think Next is probably going to surpass the WWE. It's the same company, but I think they're going to divide it in that way, and Next is going to be the new generation of professional wrestling.
And I'll give you guys my opinion on that. If I get signed by New Japan out of this training camp, I think New Japan will be a legit number 2 because they're expanding. So thank you. We're closing this live stream, and we're going to finish off the shoot interview now.